Good morning, and welcome back to Flying the Coop. This episode, we are talking about breakfast. Not just breakfast, the meal of champions, but breakfast, the meal of Michael Bennett and your other host.
Josh Cooperstein, that's me.
And when you're all done with your cereal, slurping up the rest of that milk, make sure you check us out on some of their socials. And Josh, what is that social?
Well, that's funny you should ask. We are on Facebook and Instagram. We are at Flying the Coop, as well as youtube.com. Search Flying the Coop on there. And our own special website, flyingthecoop.com. We'll have all our videos and links and to news and updates and everything on there. If you're looking for us, we're also on Spotify. Search Flying the Coop. If you're in that search bar, you're looking and trying to find us, if it's a name you can't see, it's because it's spelled K-U-P-P.
Josh, this is a controversial topic for me today. Breakfast food. So, breakfast, in my mind, is just a time period of the day. Just like
a
lunch.
free-for-all.
It is a set time. It is not a breakfast food category.
It's just a time to eat.
Exactly. It is just a time to eat. So for me, we are going to be talking about breakfast foods, but that means every food to me. Let's just take today as an example. Josh, do you know what I had for breakfast today?
What? What'd you have?
I had sushi and waffles. I had
That is quite
a fried shrimp tempura and California roll along with blueberry waffles.
That just sounds like a morning full of bathroom trips.
It is a delicious morning. But for me, breakfast is just the first meal of the day.
Breaks the fast.
It breaks the fast, but that could be at 9 a.m., 6 a.m., 3 a.m. from the previous night, or 12. Whenever you wake up, it is a conceptual time of day. So I don't think I'm exactly the expert when we talk a little bit about breakfast and breakfast foods, but that is what breakfast is to me. It's just that first meal, and I just try and make it as delicious as I can. What do you think about some breakfast?
I'm a huge Mark for breakfast. And for Mark, it's a wrestling term, means huge fan. I love breakfast food. Any kind of breakfast food, any day. I can have it for the same breakfast, lunch, dinner. Doesn't matter. If you have it there, I'm going to eat it. Now, as far as what I've always loved breakfast foods. I love eating breakfast. I can't eat immediately upon waking up. I need a little bit of time to get up and get moving. So in high school and elementary, I never really had time to eat breakfast because I was terrible and would wake up in enough time to get ready for the day and go. I never really had time to sit down and make breakfast or take anything. So I just wouldn't eat breakfast, and I missed out a lot with that. But I will say, as I've gotten older, the importance of breakfast has really hit home with me. But as far as the best time for me eating breakfast now, I like to try and make it to about 8 or 9 a.m. just because I get a few hours. I'm up for a few hours at that point. And that 9 o'clock point, if you can make it to there, you can have a nice breakfast and you're relatively close to lunch. I've had times where I started work at 6 a.m., 8 as soon as I got to work. Then I had 5-6 hours before lunch. So I'd eat right away and get that fix right away of breakfast food, and then have to go 6 hours without eating, which would make me just through the roof starving, and going to the salad bar at work would just load that thing up because I was starving.
So breakfast is like one of your favorite meals of the day. I think we both can agree of its importance. But if you had to gorge yourself on breakfast food, is that your thing, or do you like having a little bit of breakfast? Because you talked about the grab-and-go style of breakfast or the buffet style. What's the Josh Cooperstein way? What is the Josh Cooperstein ultimate breakfast?
Well, the breakfast I have every single day, and those that follow me over at my supplemental YouTube channel, which is simply titled Josh Cooperstein, I have post all workouts and my recipes and everything. I have chicken burgers and eggs from Costco. Sometimes I make it for lunch, but a lot of times it's my breakfast, or I switch off between that and Kodiak cakes mixed in with some protein, and I have the exact same thing every single day, one or the other, and it's flip-flop which one's for lunch and which one's for breakfast. There's a lot of talk back and forth about making breakfast your biggest meal of the day and kind of going. I like to do the opposite at times and look forward to something. So I try and keep my calorie limit and keep breakfast as healthy as possible so that come dinner time, if it's a day where I can afford it, I can splurge more. So I try and keep it relatively healthy, whether it's oatmeal or eggs, Canadian bacon, so there's chicken burgers. It's just a weird combination. But if I were to eat, my favorite foods are eggs, like I mentioned, bacon, sausage, scrapple. If you know, you know. Scrapple is fantastic. Anything, pancakes. It's my, you go to a breakfast buffet, I can do damage. If it's a breakfast buffet, that's going to be, I'm splurge on that for sure, because those are my favorite foods. And even for dinner, I plenty of times I would make my version of an egg McMuffin. I could do that. I could go to a diner for dinner and get an omelet at 8 o'clock at night, because I love diners, but I love breakfast food. And no matter what, it always hits the spot for me any time of day.
So that breakfast food, that's the eggs, bacon, oatmeal.
The traditional stuff. I mean, what do I know you like different. Do you have anything that you like to start your day with? I know it might not be traditional, but is there anything specific, or is it whatever you can find? And
it's whatever I can find and is the easiest. But if I had to break it up into two categories of things I usually eat the most that are probably non-traditional, it's either meats or sweets, right? They're the quickest thing. They're the most filling thing. So let's take yesterday. We all know today I had, sushi and waffles. Yesterday I had a delicious drumstick ice cream cone for breakfast.
What time was that?
That was at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, a drumstick,
right?
The original size.
Yeah, and then so
I love drumstick.
The drumstick ice cream.
Yeah, I love those.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Not at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Well, the only weird part is after you brush your teeth, you have that beautiful minty taste in your mouth. You go downstairs, bite into a nice hard piece of ice cream, finish that up, and you're ready to start the day. So
you're starting off with the dessert.
You started off on high, right?
And then you just keep going?
You just keep going up from there.
I don't even know.
You put your floor up where the ceiling is, and you only can go through the roof. So I like the sweet section, but I also like having the meat, the savory section. That one's a little bit more filling, a little bit more sustaining of the day. So whether it's a Slim Jim or meat stick, start off the day filling up your tummy and all that good stuff. And if I don't have to worry about the salt, because you know how much water I drink every day. Yeah,
enough to fill an ocean. Now, you may not like the traditional breakfast foods, but something that is one of my favorites that I didn't mention before, and I know is a lot of people really love and hold their favorites close. What do you feel about cereal?
Well, I feel like we're transitioning into a Mount Rushmore of cereals right now.
That's the best way to compare.
And I think that's what we're going to jump into. So this is my breakfast concept today, but growing up as a kid, cereal was my go-to breakfast, and I have some opinions. Okay. First opinion that I have is cereal is part of that sugary section, the sweets for breakfast, with how much sugar it already has. So let me start off this Michael Bennett Mount Rushmore with probably the hidden most sugary on my list, Frosted Mini Wheats. Delicious Frosted Mini Wheats in some nice ice cold milk, biting into it where you just bite that frosted section first. So instead of biting it long ways where you get a little bit of the frosted section, a little bit of the wheat section at the same time, no, just chomp it long wise where you just scrape off all of that frosted deliciousness.
And that just leaves us the back part.
It leaves the wheat part that's been soaked up by the milk, and then you get that in the leftover with a big spoonful. So
they're great. I like them even without milk.
So what would you say? What starts off your Rushmore?
Captain Crunch, the Captain.
Starting off strong.
So it's definitely salty, very sweet, and it just to this day you eat Cap'n Crunch, it's impossible to have one bowl. I have to load it. And granted, the rest of the line, the fruity and the peanut butter, they're all good, but nothing beats the original to me, and especially because the after, when you're done and you have that leftover milk, it sweetens that milk. That I look forward to that just as much as eating the cereal. So to me, Cap'n Crunch will always be the lead in my view. But again, this Mount Rushmore, no particular order. It's just the 4 cereals that stand above and want to be monumentalized. I don't know. They're up there, though.
They're the ones that stand above the rest just to us, and they are pretty legendary. So I'm going to tell you 2 at once. 2 classic cereals that, for me, can be interchangeable, have a little bit of a nostalgia factor, and really hit home for what a classic cereal is. So number 1, the one that's on everybody's mind, the Honey Nut Cheerios. That is one of the most classic cereals.
Heart healthy.
That you can think of. Heart healthy, calorie-wise, probably not the most healthy.
It's actually not bad.
But
from someone that's done a lot of cereal and a lot of calorie watching, it's really not bad.
But
you get a good bang for your buck with those.
I remember eating Cheerios as a baby. There's pictures of me just smacking up those Cheerios and hitting it to try and find the hole in my face.
Because you didn't like breakfast. That was the start of it. You're fighting your Cheerios as a kid.
I am, but I won every time, and they won me over, too. And that is a delicious cereal and still holds a place in my heart today. Now, the other heart-healthy cereal that also keeps a spot on my Mount Rushmore is, drumroll please, it is Raisin Bran Crunch. I know. People are going to say, raisins. What are you doing with raisins in cereal? Where are my marshmallows?
I can't go raisins.
Where are my good stuff? But it's that wonderful crunch you get from the Bran cereal mixed with the chewiness that you get from the raisin. It's just a wonderful combination. You mix that with milk because milk is delicious to have in cereal. Most varieties of milk, if I'm going to be honest with you. And you have that classic cereal that just has the perfect mouthfeel, the right amount of sugar, and leaves you feeling healthy and refreshed and ready for today. And that's 2 classic cereals that I have on my list. But I don't want to take the spotlight away from your Mount Rushmore before we get to my new classic at the end there. So, Josh, tell me a little bit more about the next one on your list.
Okay, just like Cap'n Crunch, the next 2 are kind of my sweet treats, if you will. Things that, in theory, compared to the rest of the stuff that I eat in my lifestyle, are not necessarily the best. They're more of my cheat meals and my go-tos ever since I was a kid. Still hold up today, and that's the infamous Reese's Puff cereal and Lucky Charms. You know, the Lucky Charms, you have the sweetness of the, I guess they were letters or shapes. I'm drawing a blank here, but the regular flavored cereal with those incredible, often imitated, never duplicated marshmallows that are in Lucky Charms. Other places, brands have tried to put marshmallows. Nothing compares to the original Lucky Charms marshmallows. I've seen out there that they sell them individually. I don't know if that's a joke or if it's real. If it is, I want some.
They did, and for a short time, they sold
Why
them
didn't I
just
know
the
about this until
marshmallows.
after? It's like everything else. I find out 4 years after it's gone.
You got to have your pulse on the hipness.
I hate hipness. I just found out what a dab is.
Oh.
I don't deal well with pop culture. If you know, you know.
But, Mr. Cooperstein, pop culture, not a fan in there, but
No,
he
but
knows
also,
what he likes.
Also, and Reese's Puff. Reese's my favorite candy, probably.
Hershey's number 1 selling candy is Reese's, yeah.
Reese's, that chocolate, that peanut butter, and they hit it out of the park. A lot of times they try and make an Oreo cereal or a cookies or a crispy or whatever, but Reese's is probably my favorite product to cereal conversion. They hit it out of the park. I actually would argue that I probably like Reese's Puff cereal even more. You got the peanut butter aspect, you got a chocolate aspect. It's almost a mixture of a Cocoa Puff with another peanut butter version. And those two together, not only are they great in candy, they're fantastic in cereal. To start yourself with something sweet and refreshing. And again, same with Cap'n Crunch. All of these, one bowl is hard to stop at. They can be addicting to the point where you want to have two big bowls of that. And again, the post cereal remaining milk is something, it just seeps into it. And I like milk, and we'll get into that, but it makes it that much better for you at the very end. That leaves us with one. We have three. We need one more. What's your final member of the Mount Rushmore of cereals?
So a newcomer, enters the realm, enters the ring, and that newcomer is the Kashi Go Lean cereals. And because we have to be specific, it's going to be the peanut butter variety.
It is good. You got me onto that, and that was very good.
Now, the reason isn't necessary for the traditional cereal. I think it takes it into a new area because this cereal is a very strong type of cereal with different clusters of peanut butter that doesn't necessarily blend well with the traditional bowl of milk. It is almost a granola. And that's where it enhances it for me because this is an outside the bowl cereal.
Outside the bowl, I like that.
So it is a cereal that is continuing to develop, whether you want to sit down, have it with milk, or you want to throw it in a bag for
grab
later.
A handful.
Yep. It is.
Throw it on some yogurt.
It competes in two different weight classes. It competes in the cereal category, and it competes in the granola category. Now, I know you're a big fan of granola.
I eat granola just about every single day. I make my own now, but I also have some brands that I really like, and I am a huge fan of granola. But we're not going to count granola. There's very many brands. We're not going to count this in our cereal discussion. There is a new favorite of mine of the last couple of years of trying to eat healthier, and it's my one healthy yet still delicious treat, and that is Honey Bunches of Oats, particularly the maple pecan flavor. I love maple pecan. I have maple pecan coffee all the time. It's a not only a wonderful fall treat, but a wonderful treat year round. And it's not always. It can be a relatively seasonal find at stores, but when I find it, I have to have it. It's great mixing it with yogurt or in oatmeal, but just regular milk. Because it's flaky. Similar to it's a flaky material with granola and almonds and everything pecans thrown in there. You have the crunch of the granola and pecans with the flaky crispiness of the actual cereal itself. So for those reasons and the flavor, that I could have that year round, any time of day and a night. And breakfast could be a snack food too.
You do have the snack food and that aspect of it, and that's definitely how Kashi got to be in that top category spot for me. But when we're talking about taking cereal to the next level, it is like Salt and Pepper, Batman and Robin. These things always go together.
Josh and Michael.
Josh and Michael. And it is the milk. The milk is crucial to cereal. Now, I've seen some people do cereal dry. I've seen people do cereal with water. I've seen people do it with milk, which is the classic. I myself have entered a new realm. I do cereal with chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk. I love chocolate milk. Don't get me wrong. I've never heard of chocolate milk in cereal.
Why not? You got to take it up a next level. What is the next horizon of cereal? It is not the cereal itself. It's the milk.
I feel like I haven't been living. You're taking it to the next horizon.
That's right. So I am more recently a fan of the Trader Joe's chocolate milk. I put that in my Kashigo lean cereal. I put it in most of my cereals because of what it does is it elevates the cereal.
Does it work with any kind or just things that go well with chocolate?
I find everything goes well with chocolate.
That's
you
true.
dip anything in chocolate,
That's true.
this is an enhancer. It makes it better. Now, if
Even
you're
chickpeas?
even chickpeas,
I know you don't like chickpeas.
even vegetables, even whatever it might be you covered in chocolate, it's like cheese. It has that factor where both of those things can just make anything better.
Yeah.
And if you're including some delicious sweet like cereal, adding chocolate on top, that's the way to go. That is my new obsession when it comes to cereal, that chocolate milk. Before that, I would say I'm more classic 2% kind of milk. What kind of milk guy are you?
My overall preference, I like skim milk, venturing off, but my wife prefers non-dairy options, and
There's some good ones out there too.
there really are. And so just for simplicity's sake, and it actually lasts longer too. We typically go with almond milk or macadamia nut milk is a new one from Costco. We've been really enjoying. So that's something. That's what really what we're good with. And to me, milk is important, but I think really any of those flavors really go well. I don't necessarily love almond milk by itself, but in milk with cereal mixed in, it's fantastic.
They're a match made in heaven.
They are. And so you got me interested in this chocolate milk because I really want to expand my horizons and really jumpstart my cereal. 'Cause I love chocolate milk, but I drink it separate. I'll drink it with my cereal. I don't necessarily drink it.
You're missing out.
In the same
Let's
bowl.
combine. Let's make two great things and make an even greater thing. But there's some times where we don't have the time to sit down and enjoy our bowl of cereal. We have to be on the run. We got to leave cereal behind, and we're out and about, and we are doing whatever we got to do to get ahead. So where is your go-to breakfast spot? What do you do when you're on the road, when you're moving up and about?
If I'm out and about and I don't have time to grab anything at home, or I need to grab something out somewhere, my favorite place would be a bagel place. I don't do chains, so I try to find a local bagel place, and I have a few around me that I really enjoy. I'll go there and I'll get a bagel and cream cheese, or maybe a bacon, egg, and cheese and a bagel. As a Jew, I love bagels. It's ingrained in me. So that's something that I really love to start the day. Granted, I try to be careful with carbs, but that stuff out the window, I love a good bagel or a wrap or something. Outside
What
of
is
that,
grab and go type of situation?
well, in a grab and go, it's Wawa, aka Club Wawa, as the kids say, because all the kids just hang out at Wawa for some reason. I get it's great, but what are you hanging out there for? Wawa has fantastic grab and go. The Sizzlies, the hash browns are really good. They have wheat options, which is nice, but you can get anywhere from a bagel to wheat bread to the English muffins.
I gotta agree with you.
Really, really good.
The Wawa situation is up there on my top tier
Very
list
filling and tasty. They're
For-
very filling.
for grab and go, but it's the variety of options. So at
Always.
Wawa, I don't have to have those sizzly breakfast sandwiches or a hash brown. I could get a quesadilla for breakfast. I could get
Hoagie?
a nice hoagie.
Hoagie
Yeah.
with scrambled eggs and cheese and bacon. Oh,
Wow, we don't even have to
you
add
got me
those
hungry
foods.
now.
I got a huge variety of foods for my Wawa choices and selections.
Well, what about if you're at home?
If I'm at home and I got to do a grab and go, I'm a big fan of grabbing like a meal replacement bar. I'm no particular brand. Do you have a favorite brand of like a
Yeah, I love.
protein
I
bar?
like the Redcon 1 MRE bars. I had one this morning on the way to the gym. I had a blueberry cobbler, which is fantastic. It's got a layer of white chocolate on the outside with great flavor on the inside. So that's my go-to. It's very, very filling. It's good for me to get my protein levels up. And if I have to go, or I'll do like an MRE light shake, meals ready to eat shake.
Yeah, I like the grab and go stuff too, and it just makes things a little bit easier.
Well,
I
you talk about
get
easier.
Costco
You
and-
talk about easier and
Big Bulk.
fast. Do you have any fast food places that you?
Well, the classic too. If you're out and about anywhere in the country, you need a breakfast. The classic breakfast sandwich is the McDonald's,
Mickey D's.
the Mickey D's, the McGriddle. I'm a huge fan of their hash browns.
Oh.
Now, when they switched breakfast to all day and didn't limit you to the 10:30, 11 o'clock time stop,
Who does that?
it is now full day. I'll get a hash brown any time of the day. Now, what people have as breakfast food from McDonald's has now expanded outside of that time zone, and I can finally have a hash brown when I want a hash brown. That's even better for me.
I will argue, probably get a lot of heat for this, that Burger King's hash browns are better. And I like the fact that they give you a whole bunch of mini coin-shaped ones as opposed to one. Just mentally, if I see a bunch, I'm more like, this is good. I can snack on these, not here's one hash brown that's incredible, and then you eat it, and then it's gone. Have you ever taken a McDonald's hash brown, though, and put it on one of those sandwiches? I know it's good to eat separately, but those two together, especially like a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, ugh.
Yeah, when you add the beautiful potato.
There's no wonder I gained so much weight in high school and college. I ate that every week.
Yeah, it's equal to a lot of the French fries, and I love how the fast food restaurants, do up their potatoes, whether it's French fries or hash browns or whatever it might be. But it is a great complement to breakfast or any time of the day. I like that little bit of McDonald's fix or any fast food fix.
Have you? I've been wanting to try it. If you have tried and you like it, leave it in the comments, or leave in the comments anything that your favorite breakfast and how you would rate your Mount Rushmore. Are there any fast food places that have breakfast now that you haven't tried? So for me, one of my favorite fast food places is Taco Bell, and I've never tried their breakfast. They got the waffle tacos. I know breakfast food isn't necessarily your favorite, so you're not going to go for that. But are there anything you might like? The Cinnabon bites.
For me, the breakfast food and that time of day, you really have to entice me to get out. So most restaurants don't do that for me. I might stop at like a Manhattan bagel, but even there, I'm getting my bagel along with a grilled chicken, and I'm making it a full sandwich there.
At 6 a.m.?
At 6 a.m., at whenever they're open, at that point. So I will eat pretty much anything with that type of food, but it is just the time of day for me. We talked about some beautiful cereals along with some very delicious things that we eat and our traditions and our routines. But breakfast to me is still, at the end of the day, a time of day. But for you, it still sounds like a delicious meal that we eat.
And my wife in particular has to have breakfast as the first meal of every day. If we're busy and we're at the gym or we're doing something and we haven't been able to eat before and it's 11, 12 o'clock, we need to go somewhere, and we're going to stop. We need to go somewhere that offers breakfast food. She does not like to go right into a lunch without having something sweet or something breakfast related in the morning.
And she's a smart woman because she knows, as do you and myself, that breakfast is one of the most important meals of the day. Just like listening to Flying the Coop is one of the most important podcasts that you could be listening to. And Josh, if they want to continue following us, where do they do that?
Well, all our episodes drop on Spotify as well as YouTube.com. Look for Flying the Coop in the search bar. And we're also available on flyingthecoop.com. All our episodes and latest news will be on there. And on social media on Facebook and Instagram, we are at Flying the Coop. And in that search bar, you're looking for us, trying to find the new episodes. If it's a name you can't see, it's because it's spelled Kupp.
And if you enjoyed this breakfast talk, hopefully you'll join us next time while we are Flying the Coop. All right, let's go eat. I'm getting hungry.
Do you have any Reese's Puffs?
Honey, you want to go to the store?
I don't want
Giant's
a
not
grilled
too far.
chicken sandwich on a bagel.
All right, well, we can go to Wawa.
Or
We
a
get
meat
everything.
stick.
Let's go to Wawa. We'll get everything.
Club Wall?
Wawa. Let's go to Wawa.
Okay.
I'll drive.
All right.